do you handle technical challenges and still look calm and in control even though you don't feel that way at all? How do you handle a tech meltdown when you're live? I'm Cheryl Tan with Cheryl Tan Media. We help startups to Fortune 500 companies build their media authority and communicate better on video. Subscribe to this channel to get social video strategies for your marketing team. Click the subscribe button and the bell icon and you won't miss a thing. First, know that you are not alone. Technical challenges happen to everyone, even if you plan ahead. As a former TV news anchor, I have been on set when lights have blown, microphones go out, video doesn't roll, or when you're live and in the field and you can't hear what's going on in the studio, so you don't know when to start speaking. What do? You take control, let your audience know what's happening, and move on. People understand that technical issues happen. It's how we react afterward that matters. That being said, it's really important to plan for trouble. If it can go wrong, it will, especially when you're live, so prepare well. If you're hosting a meeting for dozens of leaders, you'll want to do everything you can to make sure the meeting runs smoothly. Do everything in your power to prevent issues beforehand. Are your live stream links working? Does everyone have the correct link? Do you have a backup computer or tablet charged and ready to go? Are you recording the meeting? And if you are, is there enough space on your hard drive? Is the computer you're using charged or connected to a power source so it doesn't go dead in the middle of your event? What is the plan if the live stream goes down or if your slide presentation doesn't load properly? Where will you go next? More on that in a moment. How strong is your internet connection? It is highly recommended that you hardwire your computer to your router to get the best connection. I will say that I typically don't do this because the room where my router is dark and unappealing, so I roll the dice and I use Wi-Fi during presentations. Because I'm depending on Wi-Fi, I make sure to set up in a room with a really strong Wi-Fi signal. I have been burned a few times with the internet going down during key moments, which is why I know these next tips will be especially helpful. Prepare your rundown. I always like to plan the flow of the show ahead of time so I can share the agenda with guests. I talk about it in depth in this video, if you have the rundown handy, which is simply the order of events in your presentation. You'll have something to talk about or something to direct people to if you have technical troubles. If there is a meltdown of your technology, take a deep breath, regroup, let your audience know what is happening, then refer to your rundown. You won't be thinking as clearly in the moment, trust me, I know, so having it written down is very helpful. One of the most common technical fails is a slide presentation that won't pop up. You could spend more time trying to get it to open up and be seen by your audience than the length of the presentation itself. Do yourself a favor. Keep a copy of your presentation handy, print it out, or have it up already on another computer, tablet, even your phone. That way you can still give your guests the information they were waiting for, even if they can't see the slides you put together. You could also consider using something else to illustrate your points. Try opening up the whiteboard in Zoom in order to draw a diagram or even make a list to illustrate a point. It really helps if you do a practice run. I do this all the time. I have a private Facebook group where the only members are me and a close friend, and I go live in there testing out controls, buttons, and features. I do the same thing in Zoom. I share presentations in there. I go through slides. Sometimes I record them and watch the recording back to make sure I'm looking in the right place on the screen and that the presentation looks good. One of the things I always say is practice makes confident. It's good to have another way to connect with your attendees. Chances are you have their emails, but if you don't, this could be an opportunity to get their email as well as their cell phone. So if necessary, you could text them if something goes down and you have to switch Zoom rooms or Facebook live streams. This is a quick way to share new information with your attendees so they don't drop off, never to return. Remember, you don't have to do the live event alone. You can bring in reinforcements, an assistant, a relative, a friend who can handle the technical part of the presentation. Just make sure to name that person a co-host if you're on Zoom, and that person will be able to bring up your slide presentation and get it all ready for you. While the live event is taking place, that person could also respond to messages in the chat and answer questions. The most important thing to remember is to keep moving. No need to panic. That is why you have planned for this. Refer to your rundown, let people know what's happening, get back online, and keep going. Many of our students and clients are putting together their own shows or are regular guests on other people's programs. Interested in getting ready for your next appearance? You can download my Getting Started with Video guide. I'll put a link to it in the description box. And if you decide to hold off on live video and pre-record one instead to share with your guests, you can watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching.